Hello students, this is Sujata Kamre coming with class 10 NCRT SSC Maths with Sujata ji. Welcome students. In this session, previous year question paper March 2023. Okay students, so let us start the first question of the class 10 CBSE Maths from the March 2023 previous year board question paper. Okay students, let us see the first question. Okay. See here students, first question. The graph of y is equal to p of x is given. For a polynomial p of x, the number of zeros of p of x from the graph is. So now here students, there is a graph and that graph is for the line y is equal to p of x. So now here this graph touches the x-axis at only one point to the x-axis, and that means students here the number of zeros of p of x, is equal to 1. So here students the correct option is B, 1. Okay students, get this point. Then the next one example students. Next one example, the value of k. Here, value of k for which the pair of equations kx is equal to y plus 2 and 6x is equal to 2y plus 3 has infinitely many solutions. Okay, so now here students we have to calculate the value of k, and there are the two equations are given. So here the two equations are in the pair of simultaneous equation. These equations are simultaneous equation which is of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 form. So now here students, first we write down kx is equal to y plus 2. That means the first equation. Then here students, the next one equation is 6x is equal to y. 6x is equal to 2y plus 3. Okay, now here students, the general formula for the simultaneous equation with respect to the two variable, that is a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0. So here students, we compare this equation with this equation, and the second one equation 6x is equal to 2y plus 3. Compare this equation with a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. So now here students, but that the equation 1 and the equation 2 do not have in a general form. So we have to make their standard form. So the standard form becomes kx minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. Then here 6x minus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0. Now you compare these new equations with a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0. Okay students, then here students that see here students, then 6x, compare 6x minus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0 with a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. Then here students we get a1 is equal to k, b1 is equal to minus 1, c2 is equal to minus 2. Okay, because at the place of a1 there is k, at the place of b1 there is minus 1, and at the place of c1 there is minus 2, and that's why a1, b1, c2 are respectively k, minus 1, minus 2. Now here compare 6x minus 2y minus 3 is equal to 0 with this a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. That means students a2 is equal to 6, b2 is equal to minus 2 and c2 is equal to minus 3. So now here students we got the values of a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2. But next step, what will be the next step? The next step will be that is the clue that given in the example. That which one is the clue? That the clue is that that the pair of equation has infinitely many solutions. When do you say that the equations have infinitely many solutions? When that here we say that equations has infinitely many solutions if a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. Okay, if this condition is applicable, then we can say that the equation has infinitely many solutions. Yes, see here that in applications are this equation or this condition is applicable for these values or not. So here k upon 6. B1 upon B2, that means students, here, students A1 upon A2 means K upon 6, yes. And B1 upon B2, that means minus 1 upon 2. And here students, C1 upon C2, that means students, minus 2 upon minus 3. So that means here students, K upon 6 is equal to here B2 is minus 2, so that means 1 upon 2 and here 2 upon 3. So now here students see that 1 upon 2 never equal to 2 upon 3. Okay, never equal to 2 upon 3. So that means here students, that we doesn't exist, that this equation does not exist the value of k. Okay, we couldn't get the value of k because b1 upon b2 is not equal to c1 upon c2, and here the condition is applicable is that has infinitely many solutions, so it doesn't possible. So that's why the correct option is b, does not exist. The value of k does not exist. Next one students, next one example is that, okay, third one. If p minus 1, p plus 1 to p plus 3 are in AP, then the value of p is, yes students, we have to calculate the value of p. Now here the given is that p minus 1, p plus 1 and comma to p plus 3 comma dot are in AP. This sequence is in AP. As this sequence is in AP, that means their common difference is equal to, they are same, common difference are equal. So that means here students, here we let that A1 is equal to P minus 1, A2 is equal to P plus 1, A3 is equal to 2P plus 3. That are the terms. And here we can say that A2 minus A1 that is equal to nothing but the D, that is the common difference. And here students, that A2 minus A1, so here A2 is P plus 1 and here minus A2, sorry, A1 that is P minus 1. So here students, P plus 1 minus P plus 1. So here P plus 1, P minus P, that means cancel out, that is a 0. So 1 plus 1, that will be equal to 2, which is nothing but a D, which is nothing but D, students. And here from the A2 and A3, we also get that students A2 minus, sorry, A3 minus A2, students. A3 minus A2, that will be also equal to common difference. And A3 is 2p plus 3, 2p plus 3, and A2 is, students, p plus 1. So here p plus 1. Then here 2p plus 3 minus p minus 1. So here 2p minus p, that means p, and plus 3 minus 1, that means the 2. So here it is also the common difference. So equating both the sides. Then here, students, 2 is equal to p plus 2. So here 2 minus 2, which is equal to p. So 0 is equal to p, and it means that p is equal to 0. And here, students, yes, we get the value of p. So that means, students, the correct option is C, 0. Okay? C. Now see the next one example, students. Fourth one example, in what ratio does x-axis divide the line segment joining the points A36 and B minus 12 minus 3? Okay, so now here, students, that in what ratio? That means here there is a line segment. There is a line segment, and here is the point A36, and here is the point B, minus 12 minus 3. Okay, students, now here that in what ratio does x-axis, that x-axis divide? So here the x-axis divide this line segment. That means, students, there is something on the line segment. There is a point P. Suppose there is a point P, and which divides this line segment into n is to n, and the coordinate of this point will be x0. Okay, that coordinate of this point will be x0. So now here, students, see that here the section formula, by the section formula we can solve this example. That is, suppose A36, that means we consider as x1 y1 and this as x2 y2. Okay, students, and then we write down that by section formula, by section formula. Okay, that section formula, that px0, which is equal to, students, which is equal to, in the bracket, mx2 plus nx1 upon, here, students, my2 plus n. Okay, and here, sorry, students, here is the 1, so my1 plus nx1, and here n plus n, and here, students, my2 plus nx2 upon n plus n. Okay, so now here, students, x0 m y1 is that, here y1, see, students, y1 is 6 plus n x1, so here is the 3. I think it is the formula, that formula should be, I think, nx2 plus nx1. Yes, I think here we replace that. I write that formula again. Okay, that here, students, by section formula we say that px0. Okay, students, and then I write again the formula, that is mx2 plus nx1, mx2 plus nx1, because this is the place of x coordinate. So here all the coordinates will be x1 and y x2. So now here the second one, this is the place of the y coordinate. So my2 plus my1 upon m plus n. Yes. Now it is a right formula. Okay. So now here students, that is first m multiply x2. So here minus 12 plus n x1. So x1 is 3 divided by m plus n. Then comma m y2. So y2 is minus 3 plus n, that is y1, which is equal to 6, and then here student m plus n. Then we simplify this. We simplify as p of x0, which is equal to minus 12m minus 12m plus 3n upon n plus n, comma, this is minus 3m plus 6n upon m plus n, bracket complete. So now here we equating that these both the sides. So the value of x will be here minus 12m plus 3n. Here students minus 12m 3n upon m plus n, and y is equal to this one. So that means the value of y here is 0. So here we write 0 is equal to minus 3m plus 6n upon m plus n. Okay students, now cross multiplication, that is 0 multiply m plus n is equal to minus 3m plus 6n. So here 0 is equal to minus 3m plus 6n. So now here students, that is here 3m is equal to 6m. So here m upon n. So here 6 upon 3. Okay students. So now here m upon n, that means here 3 ones are 3 twos are. So here 2 upon 1. So here m is to n is equal to 2 is to 1. M is to n is equal to 2 is to 1. So this ratio. So this is the final answer, and this ratio divide the line segment to these points. Okay student. So here correct option is D, 2 is to 1. Okay student. So remind this formula. Okay, that nx2 plus nx1 upon n plus n and ny2 plus ny1 upon n plus n. This is the section formula. You can solve this equation with the section formula. Then next one student, next example. So the next example is students, in the given figure, PQ is a tangent. Yes students, see, PQ is a tangent to the circle centered at O. Angle AOB is equal to 95 degree, then the measure of angle ADQ will be. Okay, now here student, see, observe this figure carefully, that here given is that PQ is a tangent. PQ is a tangent, and here students, this is the triangle OAB. This is the triangle OAB, and here the central angle is given. That central angle is 95 degree. 95 degree. Now here students, that PQ is a tangent and OB is a radius. OB is a radius. That means students, that we can use the tangent theorem. Here we can use the tangent theorem. When there is a radius and there is a tangent to the circle, then the point of contact, at the point of contact, making the right angle. Okay, making the right angle. And here students, as well as the triangle is given, and that triangle is triangle OAB. Okay, so that triangle, in the triangle OAB, that OA and OB are the radius. OA and OB are the radius, and that means This triangle is nothing but the isosceles triangle. So it is an isosceles triangle because these are radius are equal. These are isosceles triangle and these angles are equal. So okay, so we can find out this angle OBA. After getting the angle OBA, we can calculate the angle OABQ. Okay, and that is we have to calculate. Okay, so that means here these are the steps. So stepwise we can carry out this example. So first students we write down that in triangle OAB. In triangle OAB we say that segment OA is congruent to segment OB. Therefore, triangle OAB is an isosceles triangle. Is an isosceles triangle. Okay, students, and here we can apply. Here we can apply the sum angle property. So here we write in triangle OAB, angle O plus angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degree. So now here students angle O that is 95 degree. We can consider that angle A x and angle B as x because these are the equal angle. So x plus x. So now here students that 9 x plus x that is 2x which is equal to 180 minus 95. So now here 2x is equal to, so 180 minus 95 that means students it will be 85. Okay, yes, it will be 85. So x is equal to 85 upon 2. So that means here students x is equal to half of 85. That means here students 2 2s are 4, 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4 and here 2 5s. X is equal to 42.5 students. So that means here x means students angle OAB is equal to 42.5 degree and as well as angle OBA. Angle OBA is equal to 42.5 degree. Okay students, now here students that I write that the segment PQ is a tangent. Segment PQ is a tangent and OB is a radius. OB is a radius. Therefore, by tangent theorem, students, measure angle OBQ is equal to 90 degree. How can we make out that angle OBQ? That is a measure angle OBA plus measure angle ABQ. Measure angle ABQ, which is equal to 90 degree students, which is equal to 90 degree. Now we have measure angle OBA and that measure angle OBA students 42.5. So I put here 42.5 plus measure angle ABQ, which is equal to 90 degree. So here measure angle ABQ is equal to 90 minus 42, 90 minus 42.5 and that means measure angle ABQ is equal to, that is a 90 minus 42.5 and that means here students 5, that 8, 5 and 47. Yes, 47.5 students. Yes. So here a measure angle ABQ is equal to 47.5 degree. So here the correct option is A, 47.5 degree. Okay students. Then next one example. Next one example is for the, see here, this is from the trigonometry If 2 tan A is equal to 3, then the value of 4 sin A plus 3 cos A upon 4 sin A minus 3 cos A is. Yes, we have to find out the value of this given term. Okay, so now here students, the given is that 2 tan A 2 tan A is equal to 3. So that means here students that tan A is equal to 3 upon 2. Okay, tan A is equal to 3 upon 2. So now here I write down this 4 sin A plus 3 cos A upon 4 sin A minus 3 cos A. So now here students, we have to find out the value of this quantity. So now here, how can we find out this value? With the help of this given, tan A is equal to 2 upon 3. So now here students, I make this sin A and sin A as in the form of tan A. Okay, as the sin A, or as your wish that you can make out that cos A as in the form of tan A. So student, let us see that dividing by cos A. So here sin A upon cos A plus 3 cos A upon cos A. So each and every term I divide by cos A. So here 4 sin A divided by cos A minus 3 cos A upon cos A. So now here students see that is a 4 multiply sin A upon cos A, that means tan A. Then plus 3 and here cos A upon cos A, that means cancel out. So only plus 3. So now here 4 sin A upon cos A, that is tan A, and here minus here 3. So here we have the value of tan A. So I put here this value 3 upon 2. So here 3 upon 2 plus 3 and here 4 multiply 3 upon 2 minus 3. So now here 2 ones are 2 twos are 4. So here as well as. Okay. So that means here students 2 multiply 3, that means 6 plus 3 and divided by 6 minus 3. That means students 9 divided by 3. So that means students 3 ones are 3 threes are. So here 3 upon 1. That 3 upon 1 means nothing but the 3 student. So which is equal to 3. Okay. So that means students the correct option is C3. Correct option is C3. Okay students. Then next one example students. If alpha beta are the zeros of a polynomial p of x square plus x minus 1, then 1 upon alpha plus 1 upon beta equal to. Yes, we have to find out the value of 1 upon x plus 1 upon beta. Yes, students. And the given polynomial is that p of x is equal to x square plus x minus 1. So students, here we compare this equation with ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 in the general form. Okay, so now here general form of quadratic equation. So here we can get a as a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1 and c is equal to minus 1. After comparing we get this value of a, b, c. So now here students, we take this value as 1 upon alpha plus 1 upon beta. So that means after simplifying this, cross multiply this. Okay, simplify means cross multiply this. Then here alpha plus beta divided by alpha into beta. Okay, that upper side, that means numerator, that is the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation. So we can consider that is alpha and beta are the roots of the given quadratic equation. And students, how can we find out alpha plus beta, that is the sum of the roots, that is minus b upon a formula. So which is equal to minus 1 upon 1, which is equal to minus 1. And here the product of the roots of the quadratic equation, that is c upon a. So that means here students, c, that is the minus 1 and here A1. So which is equal to -1. So now here student, both the answers are -1. So here -1 upon -1, and that means students the answer is 1. So here 1 upon alpha plus 1 upon beta is equal to 1. So the correct option is A, 1. Okay students, very easy example students. Then next one students, see the next one example. The least positive value of k for which the quadratic equation 2x square plus kx minus 4 is equal to 0 has rational roots is. Yes student. Now here students, that the given quadratic equation is 2x square plus kx minus 4 is equal to 0. Now here I compare this equation with the general form of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Then a is equal to 2, b is equal to k, and c is equal to -4. Okay students, now here students we know the formula method. We can solve the quadratic equation with the help of formula method. And which one that formula method? So we write down that the formula method, that is here the variable is x, so which is in x form. So minus b plus or minus in the square root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So now here students, x is equal to minus k plus or minus in the square root. So here b square, so k square minus 4 in the bracket 2 in the bracket c, that is the minus 4. So here 2 multiply 2. So x is equal to minus k plus or minus in the square root k square minus, and then here 4 to the 8, 8 for the 32. Okay, minus 32. So divided by here 4. Okay, so here minus k plus or minus in the square root k square plus 32 divided by 4 students. So now here students, at the denominator place there is a 4. Now the condition is that has rational root, that the least positive value of k. We have the value of k, which one has the least positive rational number. Okay, so that means here students, this value, that is this value k square plus 32 is nothing but the discriminant, that is a delta. Okay, so here students, that delta is equal to b square minus 4ac, and that should be the rational. And if that rational, then we can say that it is the least positive value of k. So now here students, we have the b square minus 4ac, that means k square plus 32. Okay, so we starting from the rational number, that from 1. So here students, that starting from 1, that is if k is equal to 1, we can say that here the discriminant, that is the b square minus 4ac will be square of 1 plus 32, and that means students 32. But 32 is not the square root of any one number. Then here students, k is equal to 2. If k is equal to 2, that means here square of 2 plus 32. Now here 4 plus 32, and that means here 36. Yes students, so 36, square root of 36 is nothing but the 6, and that means students, the 2 is the least positive value of k, so here students, the correct option is b2. So here students, the correct option is b2. Okay students, next one example students. Next one is that 3 upon 4 tan square 30 minus sec square 45 upon, sorry, plus sine square 60. Okay students, so now here students that we have to calculate that this value, the given value. So here I write down as it is 3 upon 4 tan square 30 degree minus sec square 45 degree plus sine square 60 degree. So now here students see 3 upon 4 and what is the value of tan 30? So here students the value of tan 30 is nothing but the 1 upon root 3. So here I write down that 1 upon root 3 square minus square sec 45. So now here students sec 45 that means the root 2. So here square of root 2. Then here students the sine 60. The value of sine 60 is root 3 upon 2. And so I write down square of root 3 upon 2. So now here students see 3 upon 4 and the square of 1 upon root 3 that means 1 upon 3 minus square of root 2 that means 2 and the square of root 3 upon 2 that means 3 upon 4. So now here students see the 3 upon 4 here 3 get cancelled and here 1 upon 4 minus 2 plus 3 upon 4. So now here students 1 upon 4 plus 3 upon 4 and that is nothing but the 4 upon 4 and then you write the minus 2. So 4 upon 4 that means the 1. So 1 minus 2 which is equal to minus 1. So now here this is the value of the given quantity. So that means here students the correct option is A minus 1. The correct option is A minus 1. Okay students. So let us see the next one example, that is the 10th one example. Okay students. So now see curved surface area of a cylinder of height 5 centimeter is 94.2 centimeter square. Radius of cylinder is, yes students. So now here we have to find out the radius of the cylinder of the given figure is that the cylinder. So now here students we have to find out. First we write down there is a cylinder, okay, and in the cylinder that is height h is equal to 5 centimeter. Then here curved surface area, curved surface area is equal to 94.2 square centimeter and we have to find out radius, that is r. Radius r is equal to question mark and here students that pi is equal to 3.14. Okay students, so now here we have to know that the formula for the curved surface area of the cylinder and that is nothing but the 2 pi rh. That is nothing but the 2 pi rh. So I write down here curved surface area. Curved surface area is equal to 2 pi rh. So now here curved surface area is given, so 94.2 2 multiply 3.14 multiply r multiply 5. So now here we simplify this. So r is equal to, that is 94.2, here is 94.2 divided by 2 multiply 3.14 multiply 5. Okay students, so I further simplify here 942 2 multiply 314 multiply 5 and that means students that is a 94.2, that means here the 1 decimal, that is I write down the 10 as the denominator place and here 3.14 that is the 2 digits are there, so I write down 100 at the numerator place. Okay, so now your students see that Simplify, you may simplify here, 0, 0 get cancelled, 5 ones are 5 twos are 10. So 2 ones are and 2 ones are here get cancelled. So now here students, that is a 314 and multiply 3. So that means here students 942. Yes. So here we can say that 314 ones are 314 and 3s are 942. So here students R is equal to 3 centimeter. Yes, because the height is given in centimeter, so R is equal to 3 centimeter. Okay, students, so the correct option is B, 3 centimeter. Okay, students, very easy example. Okay, then next one example, students. See the next one. Yes, the distribution below gives the marks obtained by 80 students on a test. Okay, so here the marks are obtained. So here I write down this column as marks obtained. Okay, and here then uh, 80 students, where are the 80 students marks obtained here? First I make out the vertical column, because this is a horizontally they write down. Okay, so I make down the vertical, and so marks obtained, then here the number of students. Okay, so now always we taken that the number of students and the frequency. So now here less than 10, here less than 10, then here students less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, less than 50, less than 60. Okay, up to this less than 60. So now here students, first is the column for marks obtained. Second one is the number of students. So that will be 3, 12, 27, 57, 75 and 80. So now here students, number of students, that means it's here students, this column is nothing for the cumulative frequency, and we have to calculate the frequency here students. We have to calculate the frequency. So now here students, how can we find out? How can we find out the frequency? So that means here we to calculate the cumulative frequency, we add up that the frequencies one by one in the next one classes. But here we have to, now we have to find out cumulative frequency to, from cumulative frequency to frequency. So here we subtract each of the frequency. So here first one frequency, that we write down as it is. So that is the 3. Okay, so now here student, the next one, that is the 12 minus 3. 12 minus 3, and that will students, that will be the 9. Then next one will be students, that is a 27 minus 12 students. 27 minus 12, and that means students, which is equal to 50. And then students, that is the next one, that is a 57 minus 27. 57 minus 27, that will be students here 30. And then here students, 75 minus 57, and that will be equal to here 180. Yes, and then 80 minus 75, and that means here 0.5. Okay students, now here we know that the marks of 10, that is less than 10, less than 20, less than 40 and less than 60. So what is the meaning of this less than 10, less than 20? So we proper manner, we have to make the class mark. Classes, we have to arrange the classes. So we arrange the classes at this first column, okay, depending on the first column. So see here, that is the classes are 0 to 10. I think it will be 0 to 10 because less than 10. Less than 10 means 0 to 10. Then here less than 20, that means 10 to 20. And here see, this is the continuous classes. Okay, continuous upper limit to lower limit. So here 20 to 30, here 30 to 40, then here students 40 to 50, and here students 50 to 60. Okay, continuously you can appear this as a continuously. Okay students, now here students see this, that the question is that the modal class of this distribution. So what is the modal class? So modal class means the highest frequency. Highest frequency, which one has the highest frequency, which class? So here students, this one, 3 9 15 30 18 5. So the 30 is the highest frequency. So here we take this one, this row. Okay, so this row will have the class that is a 30 to 40. Okay student, so here 30 to 40 is the correct answer. So here the correct option is C, 30 to 40. Okay, so here you have to arrange these given information in the vertical form, and then you can conclude the class. Okay students, otherwise not. Then next one, if you observe, see here students, if you observe this horizontal table, then you can say that, that 80 is the highest frequency, and that is the, that class is right. So that 50 to 60, 50 to 60 is the correct answer. No students, that will not be correct answer. That is the wrong answer. So that the given as the information is given, that is a less than 20, less than 30, less than 40. That means here the given frequency is related to that, and that frequency is known as the cumulative frequency. And from the cumulative frequency, we have to calculate the frequency. Okay, students, by subtracting the previous one. Okay, and so this is the static method. So you have to find out that proper method. Okay, students, and calculate it. So now here the next one example, students. The next one example, the curved surface area of cone having height 24 centimeter and radius 7 centimeter is. Yes students, here now that first we write down that cone, that is the cone is given. Okay, cone is given. Cone is given and the height here, the curved surface area of a cone having height. Height is 24 centimeter and the radius, that is r, is equal to 7 centimeter. And so we have to find out the curved surface area. Okay, we have to find out curved surface area is equal to question mark. So now here students, we know that the formula for the curved surface area, curved surface area, and that is related with the cone. Okay, so that's why I only write down the first term at the first time, that is the cone. But so repeatedly you do not write curved surface area of cone, height of the cone, radius of the cone. Do not write. Only one time you have to write down at the previously. So now curved surface area, that is a pi RL. So I can substitute here pi, that is the 22 upon 7. Radius, that is the 7. But what about the length? So that length means a slant length, slant height, not the slant length, slant height. Okay, student. So if you draw the cone and then you know that is the slant height, this is the slant height, and this is the perpendicular height, and this is the radius. So here this will be the right angle triangle, and in the right angle triangle we can use the Pythagoras theorem. As applying Pythagoras theorem, then we can conclude that L square is equal to H square plus R square. Very easy formula by applying the Pythagoras theorem from this figure, geometrical figure. So now here students, that L square, to calculate H square, so L square is equal to here students 24, square of 24 plus square of 7. Now here students, the square of 24, that means a 576. Yes, 576 plus students square of 7, that is a 49 here. So here students, 576 plus 49, that means here it should be 625. Okay, 625. Yes, 715. Okay, 625. And L square is equal to square of 25. So square root on both the sides. So we get L is equal to 25 centimeter. So now here this value you can put here in this formula. So now here 25. So here 7 get cancelled, and here 22 multiply 25, and that means students 25 50 55. Okay, so that means here students square of centimeter. Okay, square centimeter. So here students curved surface area of the cone is 550 square centimeters. So the correct option is C. So the correct option is C, students. Okay. So examples easy असतात students तुम्हाला solve करायचे आहेत. You should have to solve, you should have to try these examples. Okay, only do not see that example, only do not observe on that example. You have to write down the given. As you write down the given, as you write down the formula related that example, you surely, I really say that, I definitely say that you should solve this example. Okay, and you get the answer. So now here students, the next one example, the distance between the points 0 to root 5 and minus 2 root 5, 0 is. Now here students, we have to consider the 2 points, that is the A, 0 to root 5, and the second one, that is the B, minus 2 root 5, 0. Now here this first point is considered as x1 y1, and the second one b as a b x2 y2. That means here students that x1 becomes 0 and y1 becomes 2 root 5, and here students x2 becomes minus 2 root 5 and the y2 becomes a 0. Okay students, now here we have the values of x1 x2 y1 y2. Now here students we have to use the formula for the distance, because we have to calculate the distance between these two formulas. So here that distance from A to B. So here that in the square root we can write x2 minus x1 whole bracket square plus y2 minus y1 whole bracket square. Otherwise you can write x1 minus x2 whole bracket square plus y1 minus y2 whole bracket square. These two things are same student. So I write down that x1 minus x2 whole bracket square plus y1 minus y2 whole bracket square. Same thing, because the square of the negative number and the positive number are equal, same. Okay, so that's why I write this way. So now here the putting the values, so x1 is equal to 0 minus x2, that means 2 root 5 square, plus here y1, that is y1 is 2 root 5 minus here y2 is 0 square. So now here in the square root, thus here subtraction is minus 2 root 5 square plus here 2 root 5 whole bracket square. So here students square of minus 2 root 5, that means here 2 multiply that 5. Okay, and here as well as 2, sorry students, the square of 2 that means 4, and the square of 2 here is 4. So 4 multiply 5, and the square of square root 5, that means 5. Here also square of square root, that is the 5. Okay students, and which is in the square root. So now here students, that which is equal to distance from A to B is equal to in the square 20 plus 20, in the square root 20 plus 20, and that means here square root 40, and that means here we can factorize it. So 4 times are. So now here root 4 multiply root 10. So now root 4 that means 2. So here 2 root 10. So distance from A to B is equal to 2 root 10. Okay. So now here see the correct option is A 2 root 10. Okay students, correct option is 2 root 10. So now here students the next one example. Okay. These are the easy examples, student. Okay, carefully observe. Which of the following is a quadratic polynomial having zeros minus 2 upon 3 and 2 upon 3? Yes, students. Now here, students, the given is the quadratic equation. We have to form the quadratic equation. We have to form the quadratic equation and the given that the zeros of the quadratic equation. So here, students, we consider that the root of the first root will be alpha, that is alpha is equal to minus 2 upon 3, and the second root of the given quadratic equation will be beta. So the value of beta will be 2 upon 3. So now here students, we know that the equation to form the quadratic equation. So here I write that the quadratic equation is, and that quadratic equation is x square minus, that is sum of the roots. First I write down that sum of the roots multiply x plus product of the roots, which is equal to 0. So now here student x square minus, here sum of the roots means students alpha plus beta multiply x plus product of the roots means students alpha into beta, and which is equal to 0. So now here students we have to first calculate alpha plus beta and alpha into beta. So what is the alpha plus beta? So here alpha plus beta, that means here students minus 2 upon 3 plus 2 upon 3. So now here minus 2 plus 2 upon 3, that means 0 upon 3, and which is nothing but the 0. Okay students, which is equal to 0. So now here the product of the roots, that is alpha into beta. So minus 2 upon 3 multiply 2 upon 3. That means here students minus 2 multiply 2 divided by 3 multiply 3. So that means minus 4 divided by 9. So here students I put this value in this equation. So here x square minus 0x plus here alpha beta, that means minus 4 upon 9, which is equal to 0. In the simplified manner, we can write x square minus 4 upon 9, which is equal to 0. That means here students that 1 upon 9. So here no, I write down 9x square minus 4 divided by 9, which is equal to 0. Okay students, so here see students, that is the 9x square minus 4 upon 9. So here students that we can say that here we can say that 1 upon 9 in the bracket 9x square minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay student, so now here students that in the bracket there is a 9x square minus 4. 9x square minus 4. 1 upon 9 is the constant value. It may be any value. Okay, so that means students we only see that this part, only see this part, that is in the bracket 9x square minus 4. So here students in this option, in these four option, we see that this is the 9x square minus 4. So here that the correct option would be the D, 9x square minus 4. 5 into 9x square minus 4. Okay students, next one here. Next one example is that if the value of each observation of a statistical data is increased by 3, then the mean of the data. Yes. Okay students. So the options are, that is remains unchanged, increase by 6, increase by 3, increase by 3n. So now your students, how can it is possible that we have to assume that if you increase the data, and you can, how can you assume that the value of the mean of the data, okay, that it will be increased by 3, it will be decreased by 3, it remains unchanged, how can it possible? So here student, so first we have to see the example, uh, that randomly example I taken, that 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the group of 3, 4, 5, and then which is increased by 3. So that means 3, and then here I write down that 6, 7, 8. Okay, that here students 3 is increased by 6, 3. So that means it will be 6, then 7, and then 8. Okay, so now here mean of this data will be student 3 plus 4 plus 5 upon 3. Okay, so now here students that will be, see here 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 upon 3, and that means 4. Okay, correct? Yes, correct. And then here mean of this 6 plus 7 plus 8 upon 3. So now here students 15, 15, 16, 21, and here 3. 7. So here students, what is the difference between that? That the mean of this, that is increased by 3. 4 plus 3. So it is also increased by 3. So here students, the correct option is B, that is increased by 3. Okay, correct option is B, increased by 3. Okay students, then the next one example. Okay, you can take the next one example. Now probability of happening of an event is denoted by P. Okay, and probability probability of non-happening, happening and non-happening, okay, of the event is denoted by Q. Happening denoted by P, and probability of the non-happening of the event is denoted by Q. Okay, so relation between P and Q is, yes student, that here we know that the happening and the non-happening, that will be equal to, their sum will be equal to 1 students. Okay, their sum is equal to 1. So now here students, that if you know that their sum is equal to 1, and that means students, the relation between that, the probability of happening here, probability of happening here students, probability of happening is equal to P, and probability of non-happening is equal to Q. Probability of non-happening is equal to Q. Okay student, so there is, we know that relation between that happening and non-happening, that means they are complement to each other students, they are complement to each other, and that is equal to P plus Q is equal to 1. So this is the relation between that. So here, yes, correct option is A. So the P plus Q is equal to 1. Okay students, very easy example. Next one example students. A girl calculates that the probability of her winning the first prize in a lottery is 0.08, and if 6,000 tickets are sold, how many tickets has she bought? Yes student. So it is also the example from the probability. So here the probability of her winning. So I write down that probability of winning, okay, winning the first prize. I write down here winning the prize. Only I write down the prize, okay, which is equal to 0.08, 0.08. Okay, students, and here the 6,000 tickets are sold. Okay, number of tickets sold, that is equal to 6,000. Okay, that is equal to 6,000. And how many tickets has she bought? Okay, that selling the ticket and that she bought the ticket. So that means here the relation between that the probability, that means there is a event, and that events will be students, we can consider by calculating the probability, that probability A is equal to n of A upon n of S. So now here students, that n of A means the outcomes, means that means the uh, she bought the ticket, she bought the ticket, and that is the event, that is the event. So here I consider that A as the, consider event A, that means number of tickets, number of tickets she has bought. Okay, she has bought. Okay, so that's why I write that probability of A is equal to n of A upon n of S. So now here that probability of A, that will be equal to 0.08 students, and here n of A, we have to calculate n of A, and n of S, that is the number of tickets sold, that will be equal to 6,000. So here multiplication, 0.08 multiply 6,000, which is equal to n of 8 students. So here multiply this here, 8 upon 100, multiply here 6,000, which is equal to n of 8. So here 0 get cancelled, so 8 multiply 60, so here 480, that is n of 8. Okay, so n of 8 is equal to 480. Yes, students. Is there 480? Yes, yes, it is there. Okay, so the correct option is C. The correct option is C, 480. Okay, then next one, students. Sorry. In a group of 20 people, 5 can't swim. 5 can't swim. Okay, and if one person is selected at random, then the probability that he or she can swim. Okay, so now here students, so here first we write down that, first that can swim. Okay, can swim here students. So probability, can't swim. Okay, can't swim. That is equal to 5. And here the 20 group. So now here students, there are the 20 group. That 20 group means that the outcomes. That means the n of S. So here I write down the n of S is equal to 20. Okay, and here students now P, that there are can swim, can swim. So there are the 20 total, peoples are 20, and the can swim, that will be 20 minus 5. So that will be 20, 50. Okay student, so here we have to find out the probability, here probability of can swim. Okay, can swim, which is equal to n of A, that is the event, and n of S. So here n of A, that means the can swim, and that will be 15, and the n of S, that is a 20. So 5 3s are 5 4s are, so here 3 upon 4. So here students, the correct option is A, 3 upon 4. Okay students, then next one example. See next. Yes. Next one example, that is the 19th example. 19th example, that is 19 and 20. Is these are the examples that based on the assertion reason type questions, and we know that the assertion A statement is followed by a statement of reason R, and select the correct option out of the following. So there are the 4 options, and we know that we are familiar about that options. Okay, so now let us see the next one. Example, that is a 19 example, and that 19 example says that point P02 is the point of intersection of y-axis with the line 3x plus 2y is equal to 4. So now here students, that point is 02. Given point is 02. That means here students we can write x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2. Okay, and there is a equation. That equation is that 3x plus 2y is equal to 4. So now here students LHS, that here LHS equal to 3x plus 2y. So here 3 multiply 0 plus 2 multiply 2. That means here students 0 plus 4. So which is equal to 4. So the LHS is equal to 4, and that means here students that 4 is nothing but the RHS. So LHS is equal to RHS. So that means here students that point 0 P02 is the point of intersection of y-axis with the line 3x plus 2y is equal to 4 is the correct. So it is the true. Okay, it is true. We have to prove this. Okay, so now here the second, that reason. Okay, the distance of point P02 from x-axis is 2 units. Yes students, it's 2 units. So here students, that P02, yes, there is a point that P02, and from the x-axis, it is the 02, and that means students, the distance will be 2, of course it will be 2, the 2 units, and it will be also students, that distance is equal to 2, is the correct option students. So here, this reason is true as well as the reason is true student. Assertion is true, reason is true. These statements are true students. Separately these statements are true. Separately these statements are true. But is there any relation between the assertion or relation or reason to each other? No students, because the assertion is true, but is that reason, is the assertion the reason of the assertion? No students, it is not the reason of the assertion, given assertion. Okay, so that's why here can say that we can say that the correct option students, correct option here, the correct option that, see here, both assertion A and reason are true, but reason is not correct explanation of assertion. Okay students, these two statements are different to each other and they are not related to each other. The reason is not the reason of the given assertion. And so here the correct option for the 19 question 19 is the, for 19 is that the option B. Okay, option B. Okay students. Then next one students, 20. Assertion, the perimeter of triangle ABC is a rational number. Yes, and the reason is the sum of the squares of two rational numbers is always rational. Yes students, the perimeter of triangle ABC. Students here see, this is the figure of triangle ABC. So now here perimeter of triangle ABC. How can we calculate? That is the adding the sides, length of the sides. Okay, adding the length of the sides. So now here students, that AB is equal to 2, BC is equal to 3, but we don't know the value of AC. So first we have to calculate AC. So by which formula? By the Pythagoras theorem. So how can we calculate by the Pythagoras theorem? Yes students, see here first. Yes, students, come again here that the perimeter of triangle ABC, that is a AB plus BC plus AC, and the value of AB is 2, BC is 3, but we don't know the value of AC. So how can we find out the AC? So by the Pythagoras theorem here, by the Pythagoras we can get the value of AC. So here student, this is a triangle ABC and this is the right angle triangle. I can see that this is the right angle triangle because this is the marking. This is the marking, okay, of the right angle triangle. So here I apply the Pythagoras theorem. So here applying Pythagoras theorem, So here AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. So here students, square of 2 plus square of 3 is equal to AC square. So that means 4 plus 9 which is equal to AC square. Okay students, and that means here the 13 is equal to AC square. So that means square root of 13 square root of 13 is equal to AC square. Now the square root on both the sides students, that is equal to root 13 is equal to AC. So that means students, AC is equal to root 13. Okay, AC is equal to root 13. So now here that will be equal to centimeter. Okay. So now here students see that root 13 is an irrational number, that AC is irrational number. Okay, so that means here students, we say that our assertion here, that AC is also here we have to put that root 13 in the perimeter. So now here students, 2 plus 3, that is 5, 5 plus root 13 centimeter. So now here students, that perimeter of triangle ABC, it is also the irrational number. It is also irrational number students. And that means students, the perimeter of triangle ABC is a rational number. Is the false statement. Is the false statement students. So our assertion is false. Okay, our assertion is false. Now what about the reason? The sum of the square of the two rational number is always rational. See here students, see, that is the sum of the square of two rational number. Suppose there are the two rational number and then you have to square of these rational number and then doing the addition, then that means there, that is always rational number. Okay, the sum of the square of the two rational number always rational number student. So that statement is true students. That statement is true. So the reason is true. Okay, but now here students, as the assertion is false and the reason is true. Assertion is false and the reason is true. So that means here students, which is the correct option? See students, here assertion is false but the reason is true. That means students, the correct option is D. Okay, so the correct option is D. See here, the correct option is D. Okay student, so such a way we can complete the February 2023 previous year board question paper students. Okay, so now here if you like our channel, our videos, our content, then you can subscribe our channel students. Best luck for your exam.